Welcome to No Nonsense Nana. And I'm glad you're back today at episode number 3. And look at me, I am surrounded. Okay, hang on, I want to show you. Look, that is a collection of my Bibles. Only a few. I counted. I have 24. And they're all a little bit different with different stories and different translations. What's that mean? The original Bible was penned in Hebrew and Greek. And over the ages, different peoples translated them into different languages. I asked AI and they said there are over 900 versions of the English language that's been translated. So, how in the world are you supposed to know what kind of Bible to buy? Because if you're going to start hanging with me and talking about God and the Bible, you need one. Maybe you already have one. Maybe you're wondering if you have the right one. So, the first thing we ought to do is ask God about the Bible. So, I have one right here, and I'm going to start in 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 16. So, what does God say about his own Bible? Let's hear. It says, all scripture is God breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, to that the man of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. So, everything we need to know and learn, we're going to find in the Bible. We don't have to hear it secondhand. God will tell us. So, remember that. God breathed. He is the one that brought this together. That's why the Bible still outsells any other book in history across the world, not just in the United States. And he also said over in Revelations chapter 22, if anyone adds anything to them, God will add to him the plagues described in this book. And if anyone takes words away from this book of prophecy, God will take away from him his share in the tree of life and in the holy city, which are described in this book. So this is serious stuff. You can't play around with God. You can't play around with his word. So if you're going to go on this journey with me, then you need a Bible and you need to know which Bible to buy. And you need to allow God to speak through his word and not try to alter everything. Now, I told you there's over 900 books, different translations. Which one are you going to buy? So I'm going to tell you a couple things. They say the most accurate translation is the English Standard Version. I have one of those right here. You can order this on Amazon. Don't order something that has all kinds of commentary. You want one that God to speak straight from you. Are you in this to hear God, or are you in this to hear someone's opinion of who God is and what God has to say? I don't know about you, but I want to hear straight from God. So English Standard Version's a great one. If you're young and new and can't handle all the translations, try an NIV. Or an NLT, which is a New Living Translation, which is more up to date in today's language. Those would be the 3 that I would suggest. One of those. I'll be using English Standard Version and the NIV, and occasionally an NLT, but I'll always tell you which one. Again, all the other ones that tell you somebody's opinion on what they think God says, steer clear. I know I'm going to get a lot of haters for saying that, but how about me and you try to figure out what God is saying to me, what God is saying to you, and don't take it secondhand. All right? So, yes, I have a ton of them here and a lot of different kind, but stick with the good old. And a lot of people will tell you the King James Version is the one and only. But can I tell you, the King James Version is a translation. Yes, it was one of the first, but it's not the only one. So again, do the King James Version if you don't mind the Old English. But if you're trying to just find out who God is and what He's saying to you, and you struggle with that Old English, then grab an NIV, grab an English Standard Version, or a New Living Translation. But most of all, look for a Bible. Own one and use it, because it's no good if it sits on a shelf. I'll see you next time when I tell you some true stories about some Bibles that I own that you'll want to know the background is on them. So come with me next time